The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter, Chapter 8. The Imperial Hunt. The Emperor, learning of Kaguya-hime's unrivaled beauty, said to a maid of honor, Nakatomi no Fusako by name, "Please go and discover for me what kind of woman Kaguya-hime is, this beauty who has brought so many men to ruin and refuses to marry." Fusako, obedient to his command, departed. When she arrived at the bamboo cutter's house, the old woman deferentially showed her in. The maid of honor said, "I have been ordered by His Majesty to ascertain whether Kaguya-hime is as beautiful as people say. That is why I am here now." "I shall tell her," said the old woman, and went inside. "Please," she urged Kaguya-hime, "hurry out and meet the Emperor's messenger." Kaguya-hime replied, "How can I appear before her when I am not in the least attractive?" "Don't talk nonsense. Do you dare to show such disrespect to someone sent here by the Emperor?" "It doesn't make me feel so especially grateful to think the Emperor might wish to summon me," answered Kaguya-hime. She showed no sign of relenting in meeting the lady. The old woman had always considered Kaguya-hime as being no different from a child she had borne herself, but when the girl spoke so coldly, it much embarrassed her, and she could not reprimand Kaguya-hime as she would have liked. The old woman returned to the maid of honor and said, "I must apologize, but the girl is terribly obstinate and refuses to see you." The maid of honor said, "I was ordered by His Majesty to verify her appearance without fail. How can I return to the palace without seeing her? Do you think it proper for anyone living in this country to be allowed to disobey a royal command? Please do not let her act so unreasonably." She intended these words to shame Kaguya-hime, but when the latter was informed, she refused all the more vehemently to comply. "If I am disobeying a royal command, let them execute me without delay," she declared. The maid of honor returned to the palace and reported what had happened. The emperor listened and said merely, "You can see she's quite capable of causing the deaths of a great many men." He seemed to have given up all thought of summoning Kaguya-hime into his service, but he still had his heart set on her and refused to accept defeat at her hands. He sent for the old man and stated, "I want this Kaguya-hime you have at your place. Word has reached me of the beauty of her face and figure. I sent my messenger to look over her, but she returned unsuccessful, unable to obtain so much as a glimpse of the girl. Did you bring her up to be so disrespectful?" The old man humbly replied, "The girl absolutely refuses to serve at court. I am quite at a loss what to do about her. But I'll go back home and report your Majesty's command." The emperor asked, "Why should a child you have raised with your own hands refuse to do what you wish? If you present the girl for service here, you can be quite sure I will reward you with court rank." The old man returned home overjoyed. He related this conversation to Kaguya-hime, concluding, "That was what the emperor told me. Are you still unwilling to serve him?" Kaguya-hime answered, I absolutely refuse to serve at the court. If you force me, I'll simply disappear. It may win you a court rank, but it will mean my death." "Never do such a dreadful thing," cried the old man. "What use would position or rank be to me if I couldn't behold my own child? But why are you so reluctant to serve at the court? Would it really kill you? If you still think I am lying, send me into service at the court and see if I don't die. Many men have showed me most unusual affection, but all of them in vain. If I obey the emperor's wishes no sooner than he expresses them, I shall feel ashamed how people will consider my coldness to those other men." The old man replied, "I don't care about anyone else. The only thing that disturbs me is the danger to your life. I'll report that you are still unwilling to serve." The Emperor's proposal. He went to the palace and informed the emperor, "In humble obedience to your Majesty's command, I attempted to persuade the child to enter your service, but she told me that if I forced her to serve in the palace, it would surely cause her death. This child was not born of my body. I found her long ago in the mountains. That is why her ways are not like those of ordinary people." The emperor commented, "She must be a transformed being. There's no hope, then, of having her serve me, but at least I should like somehow to get a glimpse of her." "I wonder how this could be arranged," said the old man. The emperor said, "I understand. Miyatsu Komoro, your house is near the mountains. How would it be if, under pretext of staging an imperial hunt, I stopped by for a look at her?" That is an excellent plan, said the old man. If your majesty should happen to call at a time when she does not expect a visitor, you can probably see her. The emperor at once set a date for the hunt. During the course of the hunt, the emperor entered Kaguya Hime's house and saw there a woman so lovely she shed a radiance around her. He thought this must be Kaguya Hime and approached. She fled into the adjoining room, but the emperor caught her by the sleeve. She covered her face, but his first glimpse was enough to convince him that she was a peerless beauty. I won't let you go, he cried. But when he attempted to take her away with him, Kaguya Hime declared, If I had been born on earth, I would have served you. But if you try to force me to go with you, you will find you cannot. The emperor said, Why can't I? I'll take you with me. He summoned his palanquin, but at the instant Kaguya Hime suddenly dissolved into a shadow. The emperor realized to his dismay and disappointment that she was indeed no ordinary mortal. He said, I shall not insist any longer that you come with me, but please return to your former shape. Just one look at you and I shall go. Kaguya Hime resumed her original appearance. The emperor was still too entranced with Kaguya Hime's beauty to stifle his feelings, and he displayed his pleasure with the old man for having brought about the meeting. Miyatsu Komuro, for his part, tendered a splendid banquet for the emperor's officers. The emperor was bitterly disappointed to return to the palace without Kaguya Hime, and as he left the bamboo cutter's house, he felt as though his soul remained behind. After he had entered his palanquin, he sent this verse to Kaguya Hime. Keirusa no Miyuki Monuuku Ome Omo Oete Sumikite Tomaro Kaguya Hime Yue. As I go back to the palace, my spirits lag. I turn back, I hesitate, because of Kaguya Hime, who defies me and remains behind. To this she wrote in reply, The Emperor's Grief. To this she wrote in reply, Mugura hao shita nimo toshiha he nuru mino nanika wa tamano utena omo min. How could one who has lived her life in a house overgrown with weeds dare to look upon a jeweled palace? The emperor felt there was less reason than ever to leave when he saw this poem, but since he could not spend the night with Kaguya Hime, he had no choice but to return. When he saw again the palace ladies who usually waited on him, they seemed unworthy even to appear in Kaguya Hime's presence. Indeed, the very ladies he had always considered more beautiful than other women, when compared to Kaguya Hime, seemed scarcely worthy of the name of human beings. He ceased visiting his consorts, finding no pleasure in their company. He wrote letters only to Kaguya Hime, and her answers were by no means unkind. He used also to send her poems attached to flowers and branches, or branches that struck him as especially attractive.